everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host. I am your business strategist. I am Karena Calhoun. And listen, I am an avid introvert. I am an avid introvert. And a lot of times folks are shocked to hear that. I am not an ambivert. I am not an extrovert who can be introverted or an introvert who can be extroverted. I am a true hardcore introvert. So I'm super excited to be chatting with you all today. Super excited even more to highlight Danielle Lapteff. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be chatting with you, Danielle. How are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You are very, very welcome. So, Danielle, tell us, where in the world are you?
I'm in New Jersey.
Awesome. I've been to New Jersey, I think once or twice. This is this is really actually before my daughter was born. So that was about 28, 29 years ago. And I actually won. We went to, is there like a boardwalk or something there? I think it was, is it Atlantic City? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's where we went.
we have Atlantic City and Wildwood are the two biggest boardwalks.
I think it was Atlantic City, and I won, I want to say like $2,000 just for sitting in a chair. Like I sat in a chair and then these lights just went off and they were like, "You're the grand winner."
Wow,
So,
that's
because I don't
amazing.
know how to gamble. Yeah, I have no idea how to gamble. So that was pretty amazing for me. So, Danielle, tell us, please, ma'am, how are you living on the world around you?
I pretty much am just ever always looking for opportunities to help empower women and empower myself and just get stronger every day and really set like a good example for my daughter that women can be strong and powerful and that we can chase our dreams. So I feel like the best way to do that is to not only like raise myself up, but to also encourage other women as well. And that way she knows too that, women can support each other. It's not a competition. So that's the pretty much the world we're trying to create around her and, for myself and for all of the women that come into it.
You've actually said just in that seemingly small statement, you have said absolutely a mouthful. One of the first things that really stands out is the fact that you want to create this environment for your daughter. How old is your daughter?
She'll be 4 in 2 weeks.
Perfect age to really get her going and understanding collaboration over competition. And I want to talk about that now with the way things have gone throughout the last few years. There's a lot of women that I believe are truly sensitive to the fact that we do need to work in collaborative containers at this point. What has been your experience, Danielle, when it comes to the authenticity of the collaboration when women talk about that? Because that's one thing that I have found to be amazing recently. In the past, not so much. There would be people that would talk about, collaboration, but there would really be none. What has been your experience with that?
I think similar to you, actually. So it was very much like in the past where people would talk about it, but once they got their end of the deal, they just kind of disappeared, or they were constantly, I feel like I was surrounded by a lot of women who put you down in order to build themselves up. And they would claim whatever they had to make themselves seem like they were building women up or collaborating, but it was always a competition. And then once I became aware of that, I started putting up boundaries and being more aware of like who I was letting myself be around. And once I set that boundary in place, I started being around more authentic women. So now I'm seeing a lot more women who are all about community and support and really helping each other out. Whereas, yeah, before I had the boundaries, I think it was just the people I surrounded myself with. I made myself, easily accessible. So it was a lot easier for people to take advantage of that situation. And I wasn't necessarily surrounded by women who wanted to build you up. They just saw that, since you wanted to build people up, they could be like, I'm going to take what I can get from you. But once I set the boundaries in place, it definitely changed that. So now I feel like I'm around a lot more authentically supportive women.
It's ironic that you talk about the boundaries because I, even at, I say my big age of over 50, always think about, especially now, the boundaries that I set. They're not just, as people have once thought about, they're not just to keep people out, but they're to really make sure you're in a safe space, that your space is a place where you can really relax. And when you think about boundaries in this regard, it's for those who are of like mind, really. And I think that's key. So I absolutely love that this is something that you're taking literally the younger generation by the hand and saying, listen, this is how it should be. I think about the adage of each one teach one. And so I see that that is absolutely what you are doing. So how did you get started on this path? What brought you to this?
I think it was a combination of when I found out that I was having a girl. So during my pregnancy, and at the time I was in therapy for PTSD, and I realized through that I had a lot of childhood trauma that I hadn't recovered from. I had a lot of trauma in my or teen years, and all of it had stemmed from a place of self-limiting beliefs and people pleasing, overthinking, that type of thing. And I really was just not empowered at all. And I made myself kind of like an easy victim, I guess, not intentionally, but I was so desperate to feel stronger and surround myself with like people that I thought were my friends and love. And I just kept putting myself into positions where people saw that eagerness in me and took advantage of it. And then once I realized these things, I it made me very aware that my daughter was going to see those things in me if that's what I showed her. And I didn't want her to grow up and have the same kind of circumstances or put herself in the same situations. So I really started working on my own healing journey. And the more I was learning, the more I just kept thinking, there's got to be something else good that can come out of this. There's got to be a way I can use everything that I'm learning to help other people too. So my goal was I started out with just blogging and just sharing some of the stuff that I was learning. And it was mostly like to turn all of the bad stuff that I went into in order to help other women who might have been where I was to get to a further place in their own healing journey. So it started with the blogging, and then I realized what a focus I was putting on journals and how helpful they were for me. So I started creating resources. So I create custom journals, blank ones and guided ones. That way I can really help encourage that in women. And then the more I kept learning about it, I started working with different types of therapy, like cognitive behavioral and hypnotherapy, things like that. And then I eventually started working with a life coach, all about self-limiting beliefs. And the more I kept working with these different things and learning about them all, the more I had this like thirst to learn as much as I could and be able to turn that around and use it as well to help other people, to kind of give back what I got. So I got certified as a coach in a couple of different areas, specifically for empowering women. And now I work with clients one-on-one. I still create the journals and other resources. And then I'm still blogging about once a week and really just trying to do everything that I can to just share, like I said, even if I'm not completely healed, I'm about 6 years into my journey, so I'm pretty far into it. And, it's not linear. So you have your good days and your bad. But if I can help anyone get from where I was to just even like a day further than where they are, it's an exciting time to just be able to see that in people and see them get excited about life and set boundaries and start making themselves a priority in their own lives.
A couple of things really stand out to me in what you've just shared with us. Number one, just the sheer transparency of I was not empowered. That is an aha moment, statement, thought for many people, many women. And I really want people to sit with that for a second, because you never hear someone flat out say, I was not empowered. They may say, I needed empowerment, or I needed extra strength. I needed, X, Y, and Z. But to say I was not empowered, which is absolutely what many of us have faced, but would not say for anything. And I just want to just park here to say, Danielle, thank you for saying that, because in you saying that, my hope is that someone listening will say, I understand exactly what she's saying. I am there, and I need immediately to reach out to Danielle. because that is, we put these layers on every single day, trying to, these masks, trying to fake it, trying to make it seem like everything. And then there, and listen, there are some of us, there's some folks that have said, you know what, I'm not going to fake it, but I'm not going to be totally honest with where I am. So there's even that flip side of that for those that are listening. When you have the resource, reach out, because there's no reason to remain exactly where you are. And so if you're not that person that puts the mask on and says, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, but instead you're the person that doesn't put a mask on, but is not honest and transparent with exactly where you are, Danielle is going to be your go-to person. Absolutely going to be your go-to person. So, Danielle, tell us how we can reach out to you,
Yeah.
because I really believe that folks need to find you ASAP.
Yeah, so I have my website, which is currently emilyeverafterco.com, because I named it after my daughter. And then I also am on Instagram and Facebook with the same name. And I also have a Facebook group where it's trying to further build that community and share that information. But pretty much everything is either hosted or linked through that main website, emilyeverafterco.com.
I love it. I love it. So, Danielle, with the folks that are going to be reaching out to you, they go to that website or they go to social, however they reach out to you, what should they expect with that initial interaction with you?
Well, the word transparency, like you mentioned, that's pretty much my whole go-to. I try to just be as honest as possible and really just make it as approachable as possible, because I really want everyone who comes to it to know that there is a safe space for them. And that's really what I want to hold in the space, to really get to know yourself, discover yourself, and figure out what you need in order to move forward. Because I think everyone's capable of unstoppable success and turning our fear into fuel. And so basically, that's my whole thing. Like when you get there, that's what I want to approach. And then I do have everything on there that I can figure out as far as like, some free journal prompts and things like that, but also so like you can access all of my resources and information about like my coaching services, my Facebook group, everything like that. So yeah, that's all right there. And the only thing is just, I can't do everything for you. If you're someone who wants to do this, you have to be willing to show up for yourself, do the work for yourself. I can guide you, I can give you resources, but it's not just you show up and I'm going to fix everything for you. You just have to be willing to do that for yourself.
So I'm going to say this for Danielle. She didn't say it like this, but because I'm not Danielle, I'm going to say it. When you reach out to Danielle, please make sure, first and foremost, that you are problem aware and solution seeking, period. Because she can't do it for you. She can't show up. This is not, hey, let me just come in here, park, and some kind of way she looks under the hood, see what's going on, and fixes it, and then I leave. You're not a car. So this is not going to be that type of situation. This is not a situation where you're just going to go in and she's going to tell you what's wrong, and then you take something and then you walk away. As she's already said, she's 6 years into her healing and transformative process. To be very clear, many of us are. If anyone says that they are done, that they have completed their transformative process, their journey, then they're no longer on this earth, period. I just want to put that out there. I just need to be very clear, because no one is done. We're all on a journey. We're all somewhere on our journey.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle, any last words of wisdom that you want to share? And then one more time, share your website with us.
Sure. Yes, I think the biggest thing is just remembering to be patient with yourself and show yourself some compassion and grace, because it is a journey. That word stands out so much. It's never ending. It is a choice you make every single day. And it's not a linear thing. You're going to have good days and bad days, but it's a personalized experience, and certain things are going to work for certain people and not for others. So you might have some trial and error, but being patient and compassionate with yourself throughout the process is one of the best things that you can do in order to get from point A to point B. And then my website again is www.emilyeverafterco.com. So ever after, like happily ever after. And then co.com.
I love it. Folks, we've had another great episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena. We've had Danielle Lapteff. And listen to this episode again if you need to. Take notes, grab your journal, contact Danielle. Please, let's get healed out here. Let's get healed. We could literally have this conversation for hours. I'm positive that Danielle and I could have this conversation for hours. But we're going to leave you with this for now and encourage you to reach out to her. So I will see you all on the flip side. Bye for now.